But if you do really sit down and define high achievement and success for yourself, and you really start working toward that, eventually, I do believe your whole life will end up changing. Anyway, so all right, so we already talked about how a few ways that you can recognize when you're sliding over from being a high achiever into being an overachiever, and when you're seeking external validation too much. But again, I'll go back to, it really depends on you defining what success is for you.
Yeah.
And I think that is pretty much the driver, because a lot of us, I think, define success based on what we see on TV, or what the success that our parents had or our family had. We think we have to have that same kind of success, or our friends, are so, because there is some statistic about this, which I don't have off the top of my head here, but there's something about the satisfaction, like people feel satisfied in their lives if they are on par with the people around them. So like the people, like your friends, like if you make the same amount of money as your friends, if you have like kind of the same possessions as your friends, and this time you feel more satisfied in your life than if your friends are all making $150,000 a year and you're making $25,000 a year. You wouldn't feel as good about yourself because of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, or not because of the people, but because of how you're defining success, because you're comparing yourself to those around you. So it's this constant battle, I think, because it's really hard, because it's just in our faces so much. Like what I just said, all those things are in our face every single day, all those people. And so it's just a constant battle with yourself to remind yourself of what success means to you.
That, I think, is a really good point, because I think you will find more and more when you find what it is that's meaningful to you, and you can define that, you can put that as your yardstick for success.
Yeah.
Then life becomes a lot easier.
It does.
However, you will start to really notice people that aren't on the same page as you. Like I had a phone call with a friend I haven't spoken to in a while the other day, and love the fella, but he called me just to basically tell me how much like money he was earning, and like I've achieved this and I've got and I've got that. And it's because before, in the job that I was previously in, I was on good money. And there was always this like, discussion between us of him saying like, man, I can't believe you earn so much money. I wish I earned as much money as you. Right. And it just was quite an interesting thing that I was like, I don't associate money with success anymore. Like, not saying if I earn lots of money, I wouldn't be. I'd be disinclined to earn lots of money, but it's not the thing that makes me feel successful anymore. So, in hearing these people, and I've come across so many of them, and maybe it was the same number as before, and I'm just more aware of the fact that that's not important to me. But I'm just like, that's amazing. It's great to achieve all that money, but like, is it purposeful work? Like, do you find that you're getting a lot of self-satisfaction from it? Or are you just happy because you can tell friends or people around you, like, guess how much money I'm earning? Like, you shouldn't want to run out and do that. And we're all guilty of it, but it should be something to be like, why am I doing this? And is the work that I'm doing meaningful?
Right. Well, and it goes back to that instant gratification or instant recognition where you're going to feel good about that money for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then, because even when I think back about times when I've gotten raises and things, and you're real excited about it at first, and then that excitement wears off real quick.
Yes.
If there's nothing else to back it up, if you're not already excited about the work that you're doing and the place that you're working, then money's not going to make you more excited about it. It might help you so you're not as discontent, but you're still going to be discontent, if that makes any sense. It might lessen your discontent a little, but it's not going to make you content. But anyway, because I can just reflect on that and remember those times. And then I would feel bad because I'm like, I should be more excited that I just got this raise, but I'm really not that excited about it.
So, I really hope Lydia listens to this episode, because I've been thinking about this example since
Okay.
reading it last point.
Yeah.
So Rose and I watched the latest Disney Pixar movie the other day called Soul. And
Okay.
this is beautifully aligned to what you just said, right? So the lead character is a high school music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And like throughout the movie, he just wants to get his big break. He's obsessed with jazz, and he just wants that opportunity to be part of a quartet that will lead him to success, right? And the whole movie, I won't ruin it for people, but the whole movie is him desperately trying to get to that point.
Okay.
And by the end of the movie, right, he gets there and he achieves that. But when it happens, he literally is like, all right, so what's next? And they're like, we just do this again tomorrow. And he's like, oh. And he literally says, he's like, I thought I would feel happier about this moment. And the whole premise, I think, of the movie, which is just a beautiful one, and I wish my 5-year-old had was paying attention, because she's like, no, I'm paying attention to something else. Like, she wasn't
but she wouldn't get that message yet. But
no, it's probably a bit deep for a 5-year-old. I probably set my expectations too high. But poor Rose. But the whole idea was like, he missed out on all those lovely moments, right? Like, so the leaves falling on the trees outside, or the clouds, or things like that, because he was always just constantly thinking like, I want to achieve success, you know? So I think that's a big thing, is just, it's good to have goals, but just keep in mind that, we only have the present moment. Enjoy life that's happening right now. Otherwise, you'll probably look back after you achieve your success and probably feel really unsatisfied, I think.
Well, for sure, because I can think of so many examples in my life where that has happened, and I'm sure you have too, where you achieve something and it's just empty once you get there, because you were looking for the validation. You weren't looking for the actual achievement, or you weren't enjoying the journey of getting to that achievement. And so, once you got there, and I guess that's the interesting thing too, is I think when you are a high achiever, a true high achiever, and you are working towards something important, because that again is part of the definition of being a high achiever, is that you are working towards something that's meaningful to you and that you feel is important. You do enjoy the process so much that I think when you, and I haven't really got to the point of having like, paper, what looks like success on paper yet. But I think when I get there, I feel like it's just going to be the icing on the cake, and it'll just be like another day. But it will be just as good as the day before and the day after, because I'm already enjoying what I do every day.
Yes, love it.
And it's taken me a long time to get there, people. That's the other, like, I don't want to sit here and sound like I have this cherry life that is, I've just got this perfect life over here and I love every minute of every day. But I definitely have taken a lot of steps to get a lot closer to that. And I can see that being possible. But another thing I just thought of that would help people a lot, I think, balance the scales, I guess, of your internal validation and your external validation. A new habit I've just started is at the beginning of every day, I set like 3 goals for myself. And they're not all work goals, but they're 3 things I am definitely doing that day, no matter what. And sometimes they're work, or sometimes just like, I'm going to play a game with my daughter tonight, or, stuff like that too. It's just as important. And then, so I'm setting those goals for a successful day. If I get those 3 things done, it's a successful day for me. And then at the end of the day, I also sit and reflect, and I think of 3 things that I'm very proud of that happened that day. And so I think that helps for me, it's really helped me a lot. I just started kind of doing that maybe in the last month.
Yep.
But it's really helped to keep perspective, because you do forget, because we all get so busy, and obviously I still have a bit of the the overachiever. Sorry. I definitely have some of the overachiever in me still. So I kind of have to try to balance that out.
Yeah.
And you get so busy in your life that you do forget all the stuff you actually got done, because there's so many things you don't get done in a day, or that you don't run out of time, and you forget to give yourself credit for all the stuff that you did do. And I think that really helps. Once you kind of shift that perspective and it's like, oh yeah, well, I did get a lot of stuff done today.
I like it. It's very true. I think
Yeah.
if you do set yourself a couple of goals, no matter what goals they are, you do like get to the end of the day and you do feel good in yourself. Like, but yeah, we don't do that enough. It's a habit that you have to form, isn't it?
Yeah. And I forget sometimes, well, both ways I forget sometimes, but especially the one like what I'm proud of at the end of the day, that one is really important. And I do forget to do it because it's at the end of the day. But I have found that that's probably the most rewarding one to do. And I guess it helps define what I see as successful.
Yes.
Because the things that I'm proud of that day will define what I think success is.
Can I put you on the spot now?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the 3 things are that you're proud of today?
Today? Okay.
Yeah.
So I know I was trying to remember what they were yesterday as I was saying it. So today so far, I would say I'm proud of, I got up on time, first of all.
Nice.
And the reason I say that is because yesterday I was not feeling the greatest and I did not get up on time yesterday and I had kind of a sleepy day. So I was very proud of myself. I got up and I got going today because I could have made an excuse and not done that. The second thing I would say I was proud of today is that I managed my work schedule very well today and I got everything done that I wanted to get done. And so not even anything specific, but just that I managed the schedule. And then probably I would say this is going to be one thing that I'm proud of for today.
I'm proud of this. Yeah.
when we're done with it, because every time I do this, I don't know, it's just a learning experience and it's something I never would have done. Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I never ever would have done this. And now it's almost like second nature. It's not quite second nature yet, but it's getting there. So I'm very proud of that.
I think those are 3 very, you think about it. If you didn't sit and spend time thinking about it, you could just let those things slide.
Yeah,
whereas,
because they just are part of
3
your
things
day.
you should be proud of.
Yeah, thank you. But right, there are things that you take for granted because, of course, when you get up, it's just a normal thing. Getting your work done is just a normal thing you take for granted. But all of that takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of effort.
Mm.
And, so give yourself credit, I guess is what I'm saying. Give yourself credit for the little things.
Well,
when you start doing that, I think the big things will come along.
Yeah, I agree. One thing with today's episode, I will say while we're still recording it, I have really enjoyed this because I've tried to shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And as a result, I managed to get some really amazing insights from a friend. And that's one big thing, right? I want to let everyone know this because Amanda knows this because I talked to her about it. And a lot of the episodes before, I was obsessed with what did the audience want? Am I going to say the right things that people are going to resonate with and appreciate? I wasn't actually getting lost in doing the episode and enjoying and listening and learning, which is the whole point of why I wanted us to do this.
Right.
So today is a good example of I'm going to take some things away. Certainly the points that you said about setting goals in the morning and then, reflecting on them in the evening. I think that's something that would be really helpful. So I hope people have got that from today because, just take that time to pause and actually listen because so much of the time, you spend just constantly being like, I want my turn to speak, but you should just stop and listen, I think.
Well, that's a great point too. Yeah, because I think, that would be something to be proud of, I would say. And then you're also, I think that helps with the validation too, is where I'm going with that. Because it's interesting. Here we go. That's fascinating. I mean, it's fascinating. It's not.
That's it. Yay.
Because I think when you're trying to insert comments rather than listening, that's also seeking external validation.
Yes, it is.
So.
And isn't it funny that if you don't then get immediate recognition, you feel unsatisfied? I had that, right? Where I'm like, those points that I made in that episode were fantastic. Why have I not received an abundance of comments or views?
Right.
And it's like, who do you think you are, person, to actually think that, you don't need that. Just be satisfied that you had an enjoyable episode.
Exactly. Yes. And the rest will come.
The rest
It will.